Well, welcome back to The Champion Within. I'm John Wood, your host, and I am the champion of my own health and my own destiny. You can be too. Let's talk about it. Did the carnivore diet really break me? I mean, is my wallet really more empty now than it was before because I'm doing the carnivore diet? Well, it depends. If you have large medical bills, like I did from being very unhealthy in the past, if you're buying a bunch of sugary processed crap at the store, or if you're not, or if you're buying a bunch of vegetables that you really don't eat, end up throwing most of them away, then I think the myth that the carnivore diet is too expensive for most people is going to be shattered. Let me explain why. Yes, true, meat does cost a little more than some of the garbage that's for sale in the grocery stores. But let's look at a few things that I no longer buy, which frees up more money to buy meat. So I no longer buy bread, fresh fruit, canned fruits and vegetables, peanut butter, jelly, Diet Coke, sugar, flour, pasta, spaghetti sauce, potatoes, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, cooking oil. No longer buy any of that, plus a plethora of other things I didn't mention. Potato chips, dip, snacks, crackers, candy. I don't buy any of that. So the money that I used to spend on that is now freed up to buy meat. Meat, eggs, butter, bacon. So is it really more expensive? Also, let's think of another few things. I suffer from chronic, this is embarrassing to say, but jock itch. I seem to get it all the time. Now I have to go to the store. I can buy Lotrimin type creams of, things like that, antivirals, antibacteria, and it fixes it. It goes away within 3 or 4 days. But I haven't had that in 3 months since I started the carnivore diet. So that's money that I'm saving right there. Also, I used to have to take blood pressure medicine, and I had, my insurance paid for some of it, but I had to pay the copay. No longer taking blood pressure medicine, so that money is freed up. Also, because I had plantar fasciitis, I would have to buy new shoes pretty regularly, and I'd buy these plantar fasciitis inserts to go in there to try to help with the pain. And it did help a little bit, but those things are, $20-25 a pair, and I was buying a pair about every 3 months. No longer have to buy that because my plantar fasciitis is gone. As some of you know, if you watched my last video, I talked about having some heart issues back in 2021. And I ended up having to go in the hospital 3 times. The first 2 times, they basically put me to sleep, stopped my heart, shocked me, and put my heart back into a normal rhythm. The first time, it lasted a week. Went back in, they did it a second time, it lasted a day. Went back a third time, they decided to do an ablation, which is where they go in through your groin area. They go up into your heart, and they literally kill part of your heart to get it to settle down. Now, I believe the reason I was having all these issues is because I was over 300 pounds, type 2 diabetic, extremely high insulin levels in my body, sedentary, just, a medical mess at 50, I guess I was 54 years old then. I'm 56 now. And my insurance paid for part of that, but the bill came to $265,000. My insurance company paid $10,000 of it. They didn't have the best insurance because, let's face it, insurance rates when you're self-employed are ungodly expensive. So I ended up owing $255,000 to the hospital. I applied for a hardship case. I was granted one. And so they knocked my bill down to $50,000. Well, folks, I don't have $50,000. I'm a retail worker. My wife's a school teacher. Where am I going to get $50,000 from? So I'm paying what I can when I can, but the hospital's really on me about paying more. Then I got a bill from the surgeon that did the surgery for $50,000 more dollars. Then I got a bill from the lab and the anesthesiologist and all those bills. So we're talking an upwards of $250,000 for basically 3 hospital visits, none of which were I spent the night. Even with the ablation, I went in at 6:30 in the morning. I was discharged at 1:30 on the same day, and it was over $200,000. So does a carnivore diet cost a bunch of money? I don't know. If you look at it in context of everything that being unhealthy costs, I think that the evidence weighs in the favor of carnivore, this way of eating, being markedly less expensive. Also, and probably the biggest expense of being unhealthy, if you watched my last video, you know I used to be a truck driver. I owned a little small trucking company, and I contracted with a larger company to pull their freight. I was buying my own truck, paid $230,000 for this truck, and had all my insurances and everything, and was making, at that time, even with all the expenses that I had of running the company, I was making over $100,000 personal income. And it was good. Times were going good. But because I had these health issues, the Department of Transportation wouldn't let me drive because I was so sick and I had so much going on. They didn't want me to be, you know, a traveling disaster area driving an 80,000-pound truck. So I sold the truck, and I lost my business, and you know now I'm a retail worker making $35,000. So it costed me about $65,000 a year to not be a truck driver. Now, had I adopted this way of eating and taking good care of my health, my truck would be paid off. My wife and I would be in a much different place right now. So again, I asked you, is the carnivore diet too expensive? Depends on what you compare it to. Now, if you're young, healthy, and you have no health issues, and you're just rocking along, eating garbage and junk, then yeah, maybe it would seem like an expense that you don't want to bear. But once you get a little age on you, and things start hurting and things start breaking down, the carnivore diet can literally, as it has for me, save you maybe $1 million. Now, if you look at it in the totality, if I continue to stay well, which I plan to eat this way for the balance of my years on earth. I shouldn't have these medical expenses. I should be able to be more productive at work. Maybe go back to driving a truck. That's the ultimate goal. I do want to go back to driving a truck, get my own truck, and going back to that lifestyle. But if I do that, it'll be really easy because I'll just buy me some steak and some hamburger patties. And while I'm out on the road driving a truck, I'll just pull over, cook some hamburger patties in my little electric frying pan in the truck, maybe cook a steak, drink some water, and rock right on to the next destination. So think about this. All the evidence that I've just given you, plus I'm certain that in your mind you're thinking, wow, this would help me save money as well. So when people say that the carnivore diet is just too expensive for the average American, ask yourself, why are they saying that? Who's afraid to try this? Even if it doesn't save you any money, even if you spend the exact same amount of money that you're spending right now at the grocery store or at the meat market or at the butcher, then if you save money everywhere else, isn't it cheaper? Isn't it less expensive than the standard American diet, the SAD diet? I believe that it is. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Am I hitting the mark? Or am I missing the mark? Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? What do you think? Also, I've noticed that a lot of my videos, and of course this is just my third one, but the first two videos, I'm getting pretty good views. I'm really happy and appreciative about that. But people aren't hitting the like button. Come on, folks, hit the like button right there. It takes 2 seconds, and it's absolutely free, and it'll really help a guy out. So if you're so inclined, watch the video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Hit it twice so that I know how bad you dislike it. Just kidding. You know that if you hit it once, it turns on. If you hit it a second time, it turns off. So hit the like button or the dislike button. Leave me a comment. Share my video if you know anybody else that's ever made this argument that the carnivore diet is just too expensive. Nancy, I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money. Who can afford to eat just meat? It's too expensive. Those seem like valid arguments, but are they really? Do the math. You tell me. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much for watching my videos. This has been a lot of fun, but I got to work today, so I got to get off here, go downstairs, and fix me some bacon and eggs, and then I'm headed to work. You guys have a fantastic day. I love you, and I'll talk to you again on the next video. Thanks.